Welcome back today, and in this episode we will discuss the different styles of composition papers. Adaptation. An adaptation story is when you read a short story and tell it in your own words. The way to do this is to have the students read some Grimm Brothers stories, The Three Pigs, Cinderella, or Snow White, and tell the story to the class. They can tell the story in the way they think the story should go. They should not tell the story word for word, but in their own words, adding to and taking from the story how they feel fit. Analysis. Analyses is a report that shows that you looked at something closely and are describing it. This is different from a description, as the report is more technical in nature. This would be more on the lines of describing how a computer works and not what a bee looks like. Argument and persuasion. An argument and persuasion paper tries to convince the reader what you are explaining is correct. Take for instance, a person is writing about pollution. They can say it's bad for the environment. One thing in this paper is that the report should include the opposite side's view and an explanation of why that view is wrong. Biography. A biography is a report on another person's life. A report on your own life is called an autobiography. It should detail where the person was born, family members, where they grew up and studied. It should detail the important aspects of a person's life and what lessons was learned from the person. This type of report is good for research papers where the students have to go to the library or internet to find sources to write about. It will teach study, investigative and organization skills. Book report. A book report, unlike an adaptation, only relays what the book is about. It should tell the author's name, the book's title, year printed and major characters of the story. The reader should also tell if they like the book or not and if they learned anything from the book. Compare and contrast. A compare and contrast is a report that compares two things and tells the likenesses and differences between the two. CV. A CV is the same as a resume. It tells a potential employer the work history of a person in hopes that the employee may be hired with a company. It should include education, work history, any awards won and anything else deemed necessary for the employer to make a decision to hire the individual. You should also teach how to write a cover letter which explains the highlights and why the person is applying for the position to obtain the job. Instruction. An instruction paper teaches the reader how to do something. Take for instance how to make a sandwich. It goes step by step, explaining each step in order for the reader to obtain the same results if they did the action themselves following the instructions. Journal. A journal is a daily report of the student's activities. It should be one of the beginner activities for students who are learning to write. The student writes a few paragraphs of their daily activities. Once a week, they should be collected in order to check on the student's grammar and writing abilities. Personal story. A personal story, or a theme, is normally what teachers ask students to write about their weekends, personal life or family. The students are given a topic, for example, what I want to be when I grow up. The students then have to write a report on the subject. The size depends on the teacher, but it usually is about 1 to 2 pages long. Research. A research paper is a report that the students are given a theme and they have to learn about and present what they learned in a report. The teacher has a preset list of topics and hands them to the students. The topics could be people, places, or things. They must go to the library or use the internet to find information on the topics. What they learn they present in the research paper. Restaurant review. This is a report where the writer describes their favorite restaurant or a restaurant they ate at. This can be part of the theme or personal story report. A great review will tell about the restaurant they ate at, the decor and ambience. They need to tell the time they ate there and location of the restaurant. They should include the menu items, what they ate, a description of the food, how long it took to get their food and if they liked eating at the restaurant or not. Short story. A short story may be tricky in some cultures. Some poverty-stricken countries' children did not have the opportunity to hear children's stories. Some children may be working after school and have been working since they were able to walk and talk. Short stories should come from the imagination. Explain how to be creative and that there is a story every minute of the day. If you sit on a street corner, you can see people go by and you can come up with a story just by what people are doing. There are deliverymen, waitresses, policemen arresting criminals, etc. All you have to do is look. Everybody has a dream, a fantasy, and a hope. Those can be made possible through stories. One thing about writing, the students must remember they have to be able to write about the senses. They need to write what they see, hear, smell, touch and taste. You must give examples when explaining this. I saw a rose. There were bees flying around it. What kind of rose was it? Was it red, blue, yellow or white? Was it large? Did it smell good? Was there more than one on the vine? Why were the bees there? Now let me rewrite it. I saw a vibrant red rose, in a blue vase, sitting on a windowsill. The aroma of the flower sent a scurry of bees after the fragrance, buzzing all around them. As you can tell, I used many adjectives to describe the flower. Along with that, I talked about the different things around the flower. It makes the story a little more exciting. When you teach writing, you must teach vocabulary. Spend at least 1 or 2 days a week teaching new words. This will help students be able to become more creative when they write. Open that door to their imagination. As I stated earlier, bring in some cookies and give one to each student. Now have them describe it, the smell, the look, the feel, and the taste, anything that would let the reader understand what they are reading. If they can't do it, they need more vocabulary training. A classic example of explaining something not fully is the story of the 3 blind men describing an elephant. One man had the trunk and thought it was small like a snake. One man had the leg and thought it was big like a tree. The other touched its side and thought it was big like a wall. In any case, the cookie should be described nearly the same from all the students, some better written than others. The student should not write, "It's a cookie, it's brown and smells good." That in itself will not want a person to eat it. A good example would be something like this. "It's a round cookie and the brown sugar creates a scent that will make your mouth water. The melting chocolate chips inside it will make you crave more after you eat one." As you can tell, the more descriptive you are, the better the writing will be. Remember the following when you teach composition or any type of writing beyond beginners. Students must write about all their feelings. What they see, hear, smell, touch and taste. This will give the reader a greater ability to convey meanings. Students must be creative and use adjectives and adverbs to help enhance their writing abilities. The more descriptive they are, the reader can sense what they are writing about. Then you must teach one of the most important parts of writing, proofreading. That is all the time we have for today. I hope to see you next time.